I'm Stacy Gordon. Welcome to That's My Jams. Hey Mom! Hey Mom is a series of videos intended for people who are just learning to cook for the first time in their lives. But don't let that run you off, because these recipes are so good, they can be enjoyed by anyone, even if you've been cooking for a lifetime. And if you enjoy the video, I would very much appreciate if you would go down and hit that subscribe button for me. Today's recipe is going to be another one that my kids always enjoyed, steak stir fry. So stick around because you don't want to miss this one. We're going to start off today's recipe with some Black Angus Petite sirloins that I picked up at Aldi for 15 bucks. I'm sure you can do the math. That's $5 a steak, and the quality on these is always consistent. Also, I really like the way Aldi packages these. They're good for people who maybe just cook for one. They can be cut apart with some kitchen shears, and the other two can be thrown into the freezer. We need to get our rice going, and we're going to use a method that I just learned maybe a year or so ago, but quite frankly, I don't know how I ever did rice any other way besides this. It's my absolute favorite way to do rice, and pay attention. You'll see me use this method more than once. I'm starting off with a small saucepan, and I've already turned on some medium-high heat. Now I'm going to use a little olive oil and just put in about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to use a gigantic bag of Jasmine rice that I purchased at, you guessed it, Aldi for $5. Next, I'm going to put about 1 cup of the Jasmine rice into my heated olive oil. I'm going to use a wooden paddle to just move this rice around in the olive oil and get it translucent. This step doesn't take very long. Once you see that the Jasmine rice is all coated in the olive oil and it's just starting to get hot and translucent, then you want to add some chicken broth. You'll add twice as much chicken broth as you did rice. So in our case, we used 1 cup of rice. We're going to use 2 cups of chicken broth. You want to move this around just a little bit and immediately turn the heat way down. On this electric stove, I'm turning this down to about a 2.5. If you decide you want to season the rice with any spices, hint, you will see me do that when we make some Mexican dishes. Now's the time to put in the spices. In this case, I'm just going to leave it as is. So now that I've got it stirred up a little bit and I've got the heat turned way down, I'm going to put the lid on it and leave it alone. This week's essential pantry item is olive oil. You'll see 2 different kinds of olive oil on your store shelf. Extra virgin olive oil that's usually in a dark bottle, and then there's usually light olive oil that's in a clear bottle and is more of a yellow color. I typically use this one for salad dressings or to drizzle on my margarita pizza. I used it in the rice today because it's all I had. But normally, if you're going to be doing sauteing or frying or anything like that, you use the light olive oil. Either way you go, you want to make sure you get a high quality olive oil. This week's essential kitchen item is one of my very favorite cooking items, a wok. You don't have to spend a lot of money on a wok, just get a good sturdy one. You can pick these up, Target, Amazon, anywhere. Oil. Just a couple tablespoons. I've just washed my hands really good and taken off my rings, and we're going to cut up 2 of those beautiful petite sirloins. I'm using the meat side of my cutting board, and I'm just going to take these beauties and start to slice them in thin strips. About like that. I've got my 2 petite sirloins sliced up thin, and my oil in my wok is hot, so I'm going to transfer these over. Another quick wash of the hands, and now I'm going to add some salt to this beautiful beef. I'm just going to use some tongs and move this beef around to get it seared nicely. It doesn't take long. You should never overcook beef. In fact, people who tell me that they don't care for beef usually order their steaks extra well done. And that's probably why they don't care for it. While we're frying up this beef and we're still waiting on our rice, I'm going to grab some vegetables out of the freezer. This is the Prince Edward medley. It's green beans, wax beans, and carrots. Once again, purchased at Aldi. And no, I am not getting any type of compensation from Aldi at all. It's just that if you haven't checked out their store and their prices and the quality of their food, you really have to do that. I've got my beef the way I want it, and I'm going to go ahead and throw in this entire package of vegetables. I might add that those vegetables came straight from the freezer, so they're still frozen. And I'm just going to start moving them around with the beef. I did not drain this beef. I left all of the juices in there, and that is getting coated all over my vegetables right now, and soon to be my rice as well. Did y'all have a good Thanksgiving? I hope so. I did. Had a really good one. Got stressed out like I always do, and then everything worked out fine like it always does. So why do I do that to myself? I don't know. I do not know why. So we're still working this around because these vegetables were frozen when I put them in. The beans are thawed out now, but these carrots still need a little bit of heat. And we're fixing to check that rice in just a minute. All right, I haven't touched this rice since I covered it and turned the heat down. Typically takes about 10 minutes or so for this to get done. So I'm going to remove this lid and show you what we've got. All of the liquid is out of it. And guys, this is the most beautiful, tender, perfect rice you're ever going to have. So like I said, you're going to see me make this a whole bunch of times in the future because I got a ton of variations on this rice. In fact, I could probably do an entire video just on this rice. All right, so we're going to take this rice and just dump it right in our wok. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit to a medium heat. And we're just going to start blending in this rice in with the vegetables and the beef. Any juice that's left is going to just start to soak into the rice. I think I am going to go ahead and just add a dash of soy sauce to this. And maybe one really small dash of ginger. You can spice it up whatever way makes you happy. Turn this completely off now. Just keep moving it around a little. I want to make sure that everything is coated. Everything is thawed out. And I think we're done. So this is what we came up with. We've got our beautiful Petite sirloin in there, our vegetables, and our Jasmine rice. And this is beautiful. Please believe me when I tell you that this is a winner. It's inexpensive to make, It's easy to make, and it's flippin' delicious. You're not going to be disappointed with this recipe, and you can spice it up as much as you want or leave it as natural as you want. It's totally up to your personal preference. You might be wondering what I did with that third steak. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to do another video about how to cook a really good steak in an iron skillet with the best baked potato you ever had, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, turn off the TV, turn on some music, and just keep jamming.